Ian, let me start with you. President Trump obviously getting a lot of pushback over this ballroom. It just seems kind of wild how the media is just focusing on that when there's so many other bigger issues, which they laid out today, the number of, terrorists out of our country. But that doesn't seem to be getting through. President Trump just said moments ago, Trump derangement syndrome should be a real diagnosis. Your thoughts on what we've been listening to?
It's just the ultimate example of how absurd everything has gotten to this point, that some minor updates to a building that very much needs updates being made. That's what sends people off into an absolute tizzy when we've got people streaming into the country, bringing in drugs. There's still crime in cities across the country. We're dealing with economic issues. There's a ton of foreign policy issues. The stuff that the media finds to get upset about is just absolutely absurd. This is also the same media that didn't care when the Clintons took everything that wasn't bolted down when they were forced out of the White House. So I'm not going to take what they think about the White House all that much seriously right now.
No, of course not. Katie, we're talking about ICE and the safety of ICE. It came up several times during this news conference. Dan Goldman from New York had said he wants the New York City police to police the feds. And President Trump, pretty straightforward, as he always is, saying Dan's a loser. And now it went into sort of this sideline of how they're trying to imitate him. Democrats are in such disarray. But it really is a concern when you have elected officials, be it Dan Goldman, be it people in Chicago like Pritzker and Brandon Johnson, and now even Letitia James saying, I have a portal, I want people to send me information. The demonizing of ICE is going to get more agents potentially in the crosshairs. And we've already seen shots fired and people killed in Dallas.
We have, and it's absolutely horrific, but this is very much what we have seen coming out of the Democratic Party. And, my message to whether it be Letitia James, Congressman Goldman, Governor Pritzker, if you would fight criminals as hard as you fight Donald Trump, your cities would be safer and we wouldn't have to send ICE in there to round up these people who came into our country illegally. The fact that we have millions of people in this country and we don't know who they are and we don't know where they are is a serious concern. But apparently, as I was saying earlier, we need to be worried about a ballroom being built on the grounds of the White House. Apparently, that is a real problem and concern for the people of the United States, not the fact that there are people who are on terrorist watch lists that are in this country, and more concerningly, people that we don't know.
Right.
Should they even be on the terrorist watch list? We don't know if they're terrorists or not. We don't know who they are or where they are.
Here's one person we do know. Zohran Mamdani is not afraid to pose with a 1993 World Trade co-conspirator of the bombing here, the imam from Brooklyn. There was this fiery debate last night, the last one for New York City, and I want to play a little bit. Here is Mamdani accusing Cuomo of being in with President Trump.
We first just heard from the Republican candidate for mayor, and then we heard from Donald Trump's puppet himself, Andrew Cuomo. You could turn on TV any day of the week, and you will hear Donald Trump share that his pick for mayor is Andrew Cuomo. And he wants Andrew Cuomo to be the mayor, not because it will be good for New Yorkers, but because it will be good for him.
I mean, frankly, I don't think any of the candidates are good for Donald Trump or New York. Ian, what do you make of where New York is going? I will give you the first take at this and then Katie to finish things up.
Yeah, I think New York is one of the most beautiful, if not the most beautiful city in the world, and it's committing electoral suicide for absolutely no reason. I mean, Andrew Cuomo, as I said on another Newsmax show, is an absolutely terrible candidate who essentially killed a bunch of old people during COVID. But then you've got Mamdani, who's pro-Hamas, pro-everything that's communist, and he's going to be an absolute disaster for the city. And for some reason, there's just enough people who like his smile, like his supposed charm, like the fact that he likes sandwiches, and they're just going to ignore all the communism, all the terrorism, and believe when he just cries Islamophobia every time. I think it's appalling what's happening, but this is what happens in places like New York, where Democrats rule the roost.
Yeah, Katie, I interviewed Curtis Lewa today. And it was when we knew Eric Adams would be endorsing Cuomo. And he still thinks he has a shot at it. He says that Cuomo's flatlining. What do you make on where we are in New York picking up on the Eric Adams endorsement and the fact that there may be a socialist that has slid into the mayor of New York City?
Well, there are no winners right now at this point. The only loser is the people of New York. They are going to be at a loss because neither one of these candidates, whether you have Cuomo or you have Mamdani, it's not going to be good for the city of New York. And there's a horrible decision that has to be made. But we are seeing this coalescing around Cuomo because he truly is the lesser of two evils. I will say Sliwa's given us some amazing lines throughout this campaign. So I do appreciate his service in that way, particularly when he said that Cuomo was out there grabbing fannies and killing grannies. But he has not been able to, he's not going to be able to win. It's very obvious. You have to look at the numbers. And so the question is right now, do you think that we take a risk with someone like Zohran Mamdani, who will definitely destroy the city, or Andrew Cuomo, who might destroy the city. But either way, it's going to be good, I hope, for Republicans going forward, because they will see that these policies absolutely do not work, and we need viable Republican alternatives going forward.
Katie Frost, Ian Haworth, I appreciate your thoughtful comments today on the Oval Office and the other big top stories. I hope you come back soon.